Hey, and welcome to Unicorn Campaigns. I am, of course, Jake, your host, and I am joined today by Jim Harper. Jim, what's up?
Hey, nothing. I'm sorry, a rock just hit my window. That's the exciting way we started this podcast.
That we got to start with. At least it wasn't an actual bang. It didn't
That's right,
explode
yeah.
on you.
Yeah,
Um,
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful here in Edwardsville, Illinois, close to St. Louis, Missouri.
yes, I know it quite well. My family's all down there in good old STL.
Oh,
So
right on.
yeah, absolutely. Most of them are like at the Brentwood area, so
Okay.
either side of you.
Yeah, so our
But
closest parlor to them would be Town and Country for Clementine. So, yeah.
excellent and great intro. Clementine ice cream. Now, you were telling me something interesting, and I want to dig on it before we jumped on. It used to be a creamery, and now it's ice cream. Is there a difference?
Um, well, there's a difference in ours and a lot of ice cream makers in the sense that we are an actual what's called a micro creamery.
Okay.
So we make our ice cream one batch at a time. That means we get our dairy from one farm. That dairy comes in. We make our base. The people that are there are either baking stuff to put in and are making stuff. We do import a few things like Italian butter cookies from Italy and some chocolate from France. But for the most part, we're making all the inclusions that go in the creamery, into the ice cream. And then it gets finished. So it's literally one batch at a time by a very small team who makes every single batch. So gooey butter cake, we bake the gooey butter cake. We cut them up. We put them in the ice cream. It's all very scratch made. So we're a micro creamery. That also means we have a very low overrun, which is if you go to the grocery store and you get ice cream and you can see all those little air pockets, we do not have that. We have high butter fat, real yummy ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So, obviously, you said that they're making these small batches, but it's not just one shop anymore. Did I catch 12?
We're coming up on 10 this year, 12 by next year. So we're I don't want to say we're super excited, but also nervous because we're going to be opening parlors in two other cities that aren't St. Louis. So right now we have 8 parlors in St. Louis and one in Illinois, at Edwardsville, Illinois, where I am. And we're opening Bentonville, Arkansas, and Kansas City this year. So we're frantically doing build outs on those right now. And that way we can handle distribution from our one place where we make all of our ice cream and deliver to those places.
Is there any one campaign you did that stands out that was like, whoa?
There's a few, yeah, absolutely. And I will say I've been with this brand since the beginning. I owned an ad agency for 12 years called Boxing Clever, and I sold that agency later, but we actually launched this brand when they were just going to be one parlor. So I helped with the brand, I worked on the branding, me and my team there, and launched this brand. And then they quickly, after only a year or two with lines out the door, opened another. And so I joined as official CMO 2 years ago. And one of the campaigns that we absolutely love, we just had our 10-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And my big thing about being a marketer all these years is I always try to make sure and make the brand part of your life. I think it's super important that if you're going to love a brand and a brand's going to love you back, you've got to be part of their life. So for our 10th anniversary, we released a vinyl record called Tasty Tracks on Wax, Songs About Ice Cream. And we have 12 St. Louis artists, a couple of them very nationally known, who wrote us songs about ice cream. Punk bands, singer-songwriters, electronic. We got a ska band on there. We didn't mess around. A band called Super Fun Yeah Rocket Ship. That's like a one-man comedy. I can't even describe him. He's so much fun. And we did a swirl pink and white vinyl record with 12 songs with a gatefold and a liner notes, all about ice cream. And we had a lot of press on that. I was on the news 3 times that week. They're desperate if they're putting me on the news. So that we were so busy that week, and our bands did shows. Our bands get to sell them. We give them free product to sell to pay them back for these songs. And so now, as a marketer, why am I so happy? I'm in people's homes, and they're enjoying us as part of their life, putting our record on their turntable, listening to the bands in person, singing our songs. My big punk rock moment in this is one of the bands is called Petty Grievances, and they're a phenomenal band from St. Louis here. Their logo looks like the PGE logo. It's so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But they sent their song, which is about a member of Fugazi having an ice cream social, and they sent it to Guy Picciotto, if I'm pronouncing his song right, and he sent it to Ian McKay, the owner of Discord Records, the famous Ian McKay, and they go, "Oh, this is a great track." They liked our song. So for me, as an old punk rock guy from the old St. Louis punk rock scene, having that happen as part of this record, just it made my life. And let me tell you, that probably moved the needle 0.001%. I could care less. I will take that kind of feedback any day of the week. So, and the good news is all the bands were posting about it. We had great social from it. And that's the kind of thing I love to do. I love tangible things that outlive us in marketing when I can get them. So,
yeah. So that raises two questions in my head. We'll tackle them one at a time here. First is, as a marketer, one of the kind of hallmarks is, how do I get remembered on a regular basis? Right? It's the classic of, I'm printing my company name on the pen that's going to go in the drawer, and then they're going to use it when they're taking, grocery lists down. They're going to remember me. That has got to be one of, if not the coolest, remember me products I've ever heard of.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't agree more. And think of all the people who came together to make it. You have artists who helped us. My team that I love so much at Clementine's posted tirelessly about it, promoted it, showed up at events. We did a listening party with turntables, and all the bands came out. And it's just, those are the things that your people aren't going to forget easily. They're not. And they're real tangible things to remember.
Yeah, so I love it. The second question, and I want to dig on this a bit because I'm curious as to your process, and you kind of hinted at this. With something so broad as that project, how do you go back to the client or the company and say, this created ROI? How do we measure? How do we say that to them in a way that makes sense? Because it's not like you can say, yep, this was 47% revenue gain on this project. Like, right. How did you approach that?
Here's the good news. I have a CEO who's super cool. and Tamara, again, having been with her and being a good friend for a decade now, we talked about this when we first launched the brand. We were originally going to do cool music with people reading ice cream ingredients, like a Barry White kind of thing, or a Sade kind of vibe, where it was going to be like a sexy album about ice cream. But fast forward 10 years, we wanted more people involved. We wanted more people on this team for this project. So I got to tell you, it did not take a lot to sell. And we knew for our 10th anniversary, we had to do something no one else was going to do. We're an ice cream company that we just had a collection based on The Great Gatsby's 100th year. We had 4 flavors based on that novel. And we had literary interviews. And we are not going to be a person who's like, here, we're going to put some peanut butter in this and an ice cream and put it out. We have concepts. The concepts actually happen with our R&D chef and Tamara and our team before the ice cream flavor is made. So conceptually, we don't think of ice cream as just this here one and done thing. We have 31 flavors or whatever. That's not a dig on who, but I'll say it anyway. We are like, we're going to make a connection with you on a flavor, because that's another thing we can talk about in a moment. But we made a very coherent switch to having most of our communications be about our flavors, because they're so conceptual that when we started doing that and showcasing those and giving each flavor its own brand or lockup, we started selling more ice cream. Our numbers went up, because if you put a thing out about the brand in this collection, people love that. But if you put 6 things out about different flavors, and those 6 flavors speak to different people, and they want to try 1 to 2 to 3 of them, now you're relating to someone with your product. And it sounds simple, and it's not simple to execute, because along with that goes media that you buy and move around and stuff like that. But that's a big thing with us, is the conceptualism of the flavors and the collections. we make sure that our ice cream concepts are something. So when our R&D chefs make them, they make something that's super
Oh
important.
man, you're bringing back memories. One of my early clients that I had was a distillery and cocktail bar,
Yum.
and their head bartender, chef, whatever you want to call her, she was brilliant. We would ideate cocktails.
Love
Same
mixology.
same way as you're ideating ice cream. And so this was in Chicago, if you can't tell from the accent. And I remember we had a Christmas where we actually sold out of booze at the distillery because we created the Chicago popcorn tin cocktail.
Yes, I love that.
And so it had caramel, it had like the buttery flavors, and then we sprinkled it with like a cheese dust on top.
Yum.
And literally we could not make them fast enough.
That's fantastic. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And I love I had Brown Forman as a client for 10 years and Bacardi before that for a number of years, and a lot of independents. I've done a lot of spirits and beer, and those are magic moments because people are experiencing something for the first time with your product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't want to change the subject too much, but I had Chambord liqueur out of France as a client for a while. I call it the Holy Hand Grenade.
Yeah.
And at Box and Clever, we had them, and we did a thing where at Sam's we sold this box with two. It was crazy that it's ice cream related. 2 ice cream bowls, a golden Chambord scoop, and a bottle of Chambord. So you put ice cream in there, drizzle Chambord liqueur on it, and put a brownie in it, and you have this. So now you're not just getting this product used for the bar anymore. You're getting it used for cooking. And we got culinary stuff. I love that, and I want to try. I need to make that cocktail you described. That sounds phenomenal.
Oh man, it's crazy.
And Chicago has the best bars, man. I love I have my favorite St. Louis bars, but Chicago has so many good bars.
Absolutely. I'll shout out Copper Fiddle, my client from the past.
Nice, yeah. I know them.
You know Copper Fiddle, excellent.
Yeah,
home of Fire Engine.
Yes.
So Serrano pepper in the bottle.
Yo.
But wrapping that back around to, you said you started with them. There's a lot of different approaches a marketer can take when kind of coming into a project, especially at the infancy stage. What were some of the things you asked yourself and then asked of the brand early on that you feel like had a long-standing success for the brand itself?
Well, here's the thing that lives now more than ever is one of our people who helped found this is a gentleman named Frank Ubel. And Frank designed the first place like a true parlor. It's got it's still there. It's in Lafayette Square. It's got a beautiful chandelier. It's got real tile. It's got marble countertops. It's got beautiful art, vintage, antique, thrifting kind of vibe as well. And we still are building every location like a parlor, even the more modern ones. So when we said early on we're going to be an ice cream parlor, I always think of that scene in Royal Tenenbaums where Royal's taking Margot out to try to make amends when he's pretending he's sick. But they're in this beautiful parlor that Wes Anderson invented, right? And I always think about that place, and I'm like, I only remember one place like that from when I was young in real life, and it was this place in St. Louis called Cyrano's, and they were the first place to have hard shell over their ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And you went in there, and they put the silver pewter-looking bowl, the stainless steel bowl, with the ice cream and the sundae. And that's an experience. That's not like grab it and go. It's not quick serve. You sat down to enjoy your dessert. We want to be that fourth place, as Frank and Tamara call it. We want to be that, or as a third place, home, work, this place. Yeah. And I was a kid. I grew up in an ethnic community, Croatian community, and we had this Croatian home. It was like a VFW for us to make our food and dance and all that stuff. And that was our third place. When we were at home or at work, the family went there. A lot of people, third place is a bar. We want to be a place where you can sit down, parlor seats, marble tables, have an ice cream, and have that experience. And it smells like waffle cones because we make our homemade waffle bowls in-house. So you walk in there and the smell hits you and you're pretty much hungry instantly.
Are there any campaigns that you did that didn't pan?
For sure. Okay, for my first month there, I wasn't acclimated yet. I had been working with them all the time. I had been designing things with them for, 8 years. But for Valentine's Day, I did a Love Boat theme. And we had the little portal windows with the flavors in them, and we had a video of a ship taking off. But what I hadn't been there long enough to do was make people experience that in the parlor. Like, we got some comments like, "Oh, this is funny. Oh, I remember that." But sales-wise, like, the flavors do great because our flavors always do great. But that experience I didn't land it because I didn't give myself and the team enough time to execute it properly. And I thought it was hilarious, and I even tried to find some music that was similar to the Love Boat. And so, again, shift a year ahead to fix that. We focused on the flavors again, and we had love handles and sinful buns, all stuff about being, Valentine's Day and putting on a few pounds. We don't even care if, the ice cream you love, being with the person you want, or celebrating yourself. So it was like that one just didn't. My Love Boat capsized.
Oh my goodness!
I gave it a shot.
It's an interesting question because you are taking this and because of the flavors, doing a very seasonal approach. About how far out from a holiday are you starting work on that campaign?
That's a great question because that process got implemented just in the last year by with a lot of help and guidance from our chief operating officer, Shannon. She came in and started this flavor process guide because the trouble we were having is we had to get the photos for the ice cream early for PR, and they had to be a specific kind of photo. And that was so far out. We're like, we don't have the ice cream yet. We have to we make small batches of ice cream to test and develop flavors, but we have to do it quite a bit in advance. And so now we are working very far in advance. Like right now, I'm in the middle of Halloween already. And,
okay.
And it's like our marketing had already started. We already hired an artist, a really cool artist partner to help us with this collection coming out. I wish I could tell you the name of it. It's so freaking cool, but I will. But the thing is, we have to prepare a lot early now. And what that also does is that it helps our production team because making one batch at a time, they can be a lot earlier and not have to rush as much. Now, with the Gatsby collection, we sold out of a couple flavors. We had to make them fast again for the week. So,
oh my gosh,
they sold so well. But for the most part, our production team strives on a nice schedule. Now we're used to it. It took us a while, and we were able to prepare more. But we're almost a year ahead, but we have to leave some leeway in there for trends. Like if we do something and then everyone did it already, and then we look like we're coming in late, we have to adjust that campaign to meet the current trend. To make sure we're on target. So, but when you're doing weird stuff like Gatsby and it's a little easier because
absolutely.
I don't see our, Dairy Queen's not going to do the Great Gatsby. No offense to them, but
curious on. So it's obviously a local business. There's multi-location, right? So you get a little bit of that broader brand play as well. Are there any particular channels that you're seeing are really killing it for that localized marketing, or vice versa that you thought would be good that are just like? Meh?
Well, it's funny. We always killed it for a local brand on Instagram. We're above 40K followers, and we have some good numbers there. A lot of interaction. I'm not exactly sure what Meta is doing on their end, but for our end, Facebook has been getting all the traction because it's more of a local tool in some cases, right? If you're putting events out and stuff, you're putting them on that platform. So lately, all of our interaction and growth for social has been on Facebook. And that was, I don't want to say it was the thing we ignored, but it wasn't near as important to our brand as the visual aspect and the video aspect of Instagram. So too much. Like we had a meeting this morning about our data, and Va, my champion in the marketing team, she's like the glue that holds the marketing together. Plus, she's young and she remembers things, unlike us old people. But she's brilliant, and she pulled up the numbers today, and she's like, I don't know what's going on, but all our big spikes are Facebook, and we're like, who knew? Like, it's kind of back. So, and that also helps because we know if people are interacting us more on there, we could put more events and more appearances. We have Santa during the holidays, and we have appearances in the parlors. So yeah, it seemed to help.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Out of nowhere.
One question before we wrap up, and I always like to ask this of a fellow marketer. Marketing is changing faster right now than it has at any point in the previous 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything on the horizon that you're kind of excited for? That you're like, oof, this is right there, and it's going to be awesome when it hits, and I'm paying attention to it?
That's a great question. That's kind of hard, but I will tell you this. My CEO, Tamara, has trained me to be a data. I have to use data and everything. I have to report everything with data. So I went from being a creative guy from an agency world to a CMO by absolutely targeting the amazing reporting and stats we get from our data. And we have a great media partner in if I'm allowed to mention them, BAM, an agency in St. Louis who does our media and has immediately grown our online footprint digitally. An unbelievable SEO partner, Digital Strike, who knows how to find unbelievable ways to get people for our website. Our website performs better than some huge brands that I've had in the past because of their partnership. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. And my team puts compelling stuff on there, but the combination of the ability to shift media at the drop of a hat almost instantly, where you can ship our ice cream anywhere in the country with goldbelly.com. So we're on Goldbelly, so you can get our ice cream. Our second and third biggest cities are New York and San Francisco. People ship out to there. Al Roker loves gooey butter cake. Like he orders it all the time.
Who doesn't love gooey butter cake?
Exactly.
It's like half the reason to go to St. Louis.
Yeah, coming in weeks. Pumpkin gooey butter cake. People are going to lose their marbles.
Shut up.
It's so good.
I'm putting on Goldbelly. I'm putting that order in.
Yeah. So for me, it's not one specific technology, but it's the ability to go instantly and move your media to where it needs to be right away. And you're like, Goldbelly is a little down and this is a little up. I'm going to shift that media from this thing over to here and tilt the scales this way. And you can actually see the numbers move. Mm-hmm. That's mind-blowing compared to when I came up during the dot-com boom working at a giant agency. And we do it all. It's almost like sending a text now of how fast we move that media around to fine-tune it to get numbers to move and to adjust. And it's crazy how different it is day to day. That blows my mind that we have that ability now. That just blows my mind.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you, Jim, for being on the show, and I really appreciate it. It's always awesome to hear, especially from someone who's a creative. We get a lot of like analytical people, but like having a brander, someone who really gets that idea. I really appreciate your insights a lot.
Thank you.
Where can we find more about Clementine? Obviously, you mentioned Goldbelly to order.
Yeah.
But where should we follow? Stay up to date on what you're doing and the awesome products that are coming out.
Sure. ClementinesIceCream.com. Always info there. We try to keep the page pretty relevant. You can dig deep into the flavors there. There are blogs about almost every flavor. Definitely follow. We love people on Instagram. We're finally driving up TikTok. We have a new young content creator, and we're able to do more on there. So please follow us on all the things. Obviously, Facebook's kicking butt now, and so follow that too. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're ship it to somebody. If you want to splurge, ship it to someone. Makes a great present. I sent to my brother for his birthday, and he did not dislike. Nobody really complains about getting dry ice and ice cream. And if you're crazy like me, you'll put the dry ice in the toilet and it blows up and looks scary, and it's quite fun. Don't do that at home.
Halloween's coming up, folks.
That's right, exactly. Put it in a cauldron.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, again, thanks so much for being here. If you watch this episode of Unicorn Campaigns, be sure to check out all of our other episodes for other great campaigns, as well as the other shows on the Vox and Coin Network. They're great if you're a business and entrepreneur, marketing, sales, thought leadership. Would love to have you over there. Give us a follow, and until next time, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Jake.